The concept of the pendulum swinging back seems to, despite everything, still be beyond the Democrats' scope of reason, which I attribute to their general youth. The kids are too busy LARPing as the oppressed to crack open a history book and realize the truth. They quote the likes of Anne Frank and Harriet Tubman as their scripture because the only thing they know is how America was founded, slavery, the USA's Civil War, and World War II. Through this, they see America as a binary. It was bad, and it's becoming good. Change means progression. They call themselves the progressives. Therefore, they are good. The young blood kills the old guard. It's easy for them to attack America in order to get rid of the bad and make America non-binary. The modern Democrats' ideals aren't from some ancient codex. It's made up on the spot. Every day, they imagine a new identity. They carve a new mask to wear. Every day, they weave a new flag to fly. They birth a new minority to self-victimize. None of it is based on learned knowledge. You can see that in how they are stun-locked in debates.
Well, I'm a former member of the ACLU of Minnesota board, and I believe in the First Amendment.
Good. What about the Second Amendment? You believe in that one?
Don't have it.
You don't have just the ones that suit you there, Representative, right?
And how they argue purely with accusations and whataboutisms.
What about that Second Amendment?
Well, I don't know if you heard, but we had a shooting in a school here in Minnesota recently. And
What's that got to do with the Second Amendment?
Well, I think that if we had some common sense gun violence prevention
Who gets
laws.
to say it's common sense? You?
Well, yes.
In reality, it need not even be a debate. Reality alone is enough to stop them in their tracks.
And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized.
The current Democratic Party is unfortunately a pity party, shrouded in the suggestion of progressivism, without ever daring to define what that means in legal terms. It's just kids assured that the world would be sunshine and rainbows if everyone would submit to their demands, but their demands are only what they have been trained to believe. Contrary to these orcs' delusions, their masters are the ones who would rule.
Take back the lands they stole from you. Not every delay.
We have only to remove those who oppose us.
The left says the USA is a horrible, awful, no-good place to live. But here's the question. If the USA is so dangerous, why go out and protest? Because you're a hero risking your life? Okay, hero. But would you do it even if you had a young child with no father to take care of them should something happen to you? Isn't your duty, your responsibility, to the child first? Would you still play hero? Up until January 7th, you might say yes. Isn't that it? Isn't it exactly that? The answer is that obvious. It wasn't about being a hero. The Democrats didn't even think it was dangerous. All the accusations they made, and still make, about secret police, Gestapos, Nazis, kidnappers, and so forth, but they never thought for a second that they were in danger. What is it the left say? Every accusation is an admission. An idiotic saying, rife with error, but if ICE are everything the left says they are, then how do you explain these protests continuing? Why aren't the protesters lined up along the edges of the street in body bags like in Iran? That's obviously a rhetorical question, but the growing danger for innocent people isn't from the federal government, is it? It's not from some annoying Karen either, at least not directly. They're more like traffic directors. All of this nonsense about protecting neighbors, with the so-called neighbors being illegal invaders, and the danger to the actual neighbors comes from the group mostly, and curiously, comprised of young to middle-aged men wearing masks, who are not members of ICE, who wander the streets like rabid dogs. Just as I always say, America is not a melting pot of diversity. It is wolf packs carving out territory. They've escalated this from ICE to everyone, disrupting peace.
As protesters have gathered outside the canopy by Hilton Hotel in downtown to protest a location that they believe ICE agents or federal agents are staying. Now, protesters have instruments and noisemakers, everything from drums, tubas, trumpets, whistles. all in an effort to make noise outside the hotel.
Oh, and you know what? I'm going to turn here. You can see the lights that they were shining on the sides of the building here, trying to get into some of the windows with that light, which we saw them doing previously on the other side of the building as well.
Defacing property? Destroying vehicles?
Because we could see one individual breaking windows on those Waymos, and there's that other Waymo that's on fire. And all three of these, I think I counted 4, have been completely hit by graffiti, a lot of paint, a lot of words and statements being placed on these Waymos.
And invading churches.
Why are you not at Whipple protesting? Why are you not standing up with your Latino and Somali community?
All in a childish attempt to get revenge on Trump. People go harass ICE in order to have a good time, like it's a drinking game. Protesting in the USA has been so normalized that it's been gamified. There's a practiced routine, schedules, strategic meetings. They plan and scheme, they hand out tactical gear. And to make sure that everyone is on the same page, I am literally referring to adult diapers, whistles, and gas masks when I say tactical gear. And I'm not sure if the mask is to stop pepper spray or just because the ICE chasers are intentionally shitting themselves, not out of fear, but pure dedication to the cause. That being the harassing of people whom they have, in their own mind, defined as an undesirable. Like monkeys howling and throwing their own feces at a lion whilst hiding in the safety of a tree. Except they aren't lions. They're leopards, and they're waiting until someone throws a rock.
You see they are literally going into the crowd and seem to be sprinting after individuals. They just broke from the line outside of that federal building so quickly. I mean, they're now into this parking lot as they've followed many people. What preceded that was literally, I saw it in the air. Someone threw a water bottle, landed right in the front of that line of agents, and that prompted them quite literally to sprint out into the crowd of people here just outside this federal building. I mean, to this point, they had really just been in a line standing there.
Oh, I know. It's excessive force, right? It's just a water bottle, right? I'd love to see anyone stand still and let someone pelt a water bottle at their head without even knowing if it's frozen.
A CNN reporter was trying to calm down tensions while covering the disturbances.
Holy!
Suddenly, her crew came under attack. A water bottle was flung and hit this CNN man in the head.
A bottle of water knocked you out?
They designate anyone who isn't a Democrat as all of these trigger words in order to mark them for death. It's not a battle of political policies, ethics, or even morality. It ignores long-standing immigration laws which we were subject to since before Trump took office, proving that these people saying illegal immigration isn't a real thing are blatantly stating that they would sooner forfeit America to other countries than allow Republicans to lead. It's weaponized self-righteousness earned through boredom, and that boredom is a luxury of living in America instead of fearing for your life as you would in many other countries, as those protests are a luxury of America's freedom, which you would not have in many other countries. Civilians are endangering themselves by defying the government, and yet they don't even see it as dangerous.
What? What do you mean dangerous? So you admit that protesting against the government is dangerous?
No, Karen. I said defying. That's the funny thing. America is so fattened with freedom and peace that even suggesting the government is dangerous sounds like an oxymoron, and yet that's all the left says, especially when there's an opportunity to make it sexist or racist. Or maybe it's that people only hear what they want to hear. But it's not protesting. Defying, as in preventing them from doing their jobs, as in disobeying their commands, which is exactly what has been happening, what happened on that day, and what is continuing to happen. These people aren't endangered by Nazis and dictators. They're endangered by their own brain, by their echo chambers and their masters telling them that ICE isn't a real thing and that Trump isn't really the president.
Good afternoon. I'm Rochelle Bilal, the sheriff for the city and county of Philadelphia. And I say her name, Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. This should not have happened, but we're here today. Let know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made-up ICE, probably Trump's new army to attack citizens of the United States.
They are a danger to themselves, but more importantly, to others, and the government is seemingly allowing it to get this bad so that we can all witness it, so that it will be indisputably justified when something is finally done about it. I'm not a fan of the whole Palpatine charade, if I'm being honest. Just get on with it. Continuing, it's worth reiterating that people feel so safe in the USA that they go out and intentionally harass federal agents while they are working. They feel so safe in America that they intentionally put themselves in scenarios that no sane person with any kind of survival instinct ever would. That no one who's come from an actual oppressive country would, from an actual communist or fascist or whatever country would do what any American is doing right now. They quote Becca Good, widow of Renee Good, saying, "We have whistles, they have guns." Democrats say this like they're victims, but they're only victims of their own gullibility, their own temerity. It's a federal task force you are sabotaging through your own will, and ICE did not shoot because of a whistle. It's a puny lie to even suppose such a thing, and for the extreme or even moderate Democrats to latch onto that quote as if it's something powerful shows just how contemptible they are in their self-pity. The whistle was not the reason. The harassment was not the reason. The impediment of their duty was not the reason. The reason was because someone wanted to get that warm, fuzzy feeling in their tummy tum-tum that you get when you virtue signal in White Knight, but they chose to do it in a car. Plenty of people get arrested by ICE without being shot because they didn't make the ICE agent fear for their life while fleeing on foot. And that's the incredibly stupid reason that she is dead, which should have never happened in the first place, and every decent sort knows that to be true. But let us not so quickly forget the other notable quotes attributed to Becca Good, like, "It's my fault," and "I made her come out here," proof of the illusory spell cast upon Democrats, and "Drive, baby, drive, drive," proof of their intent to disrupt the government. That is, unless, of course, Frank Miele was right about her actually saying "don't drive," which I rather doubt. Well, I've tried to put myself in their shoes, more than you might think, but here's the thing. That just makes them look worse. The amount of protesters actually protesting is the least of the three, with the other two being people who are just out there to have fun, finding a feeling of meaning for once in their life through protesting, and the last of the three being people who are violent, desperate to catch the heroism their ancestors attained through war. These two mentalities feel totally insincere. They're just out there to have fun or do harm, one of those two. And they drown out the third, the people who are honestly protesting. Now, recently I saw a video of someone who brought her baby to an ICE protest, and my first thought was, imagine using your kid as a human shield. But maybe she wasn't. Maybe her head was just bone all the way through. I don't know. But it's still bewildering to me, because in any other scenario, Democrats would be screaming about abuse, claiming the kid could suffer hearing damage or be traumatized or even killed or something. I mean, what the hell are you doing? Are you really so delusional as to believe the claims of peaceful protests? Have you never watched any of the events, any streams, any of the footage? Bare minimum, it's nonstop whistles, car horns, and people angrily screaming slurs. You're bringing babies to this. Forget that. Democrats are approaching families with children and screaming profanities right in their face, going into churches to do this. I mean, my current mental image of Democrats has plummeted to the point where I envision them as someone screaming profanities at a baby in a stroller and calling them Nazis. And Democratic officials do nothing to dispel this. It's pathetic. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.